Go ahead and send
Okay.
it to Zollner as well. I probably won't set it up now, but I'll set it up for later.
Copy that. There's a key involved and it will change. You'll have to ask me for the key at every race.
Roger that.
Where does the Aurora like to sit? Wherever we put it, or do you have it preset somewhere?
So hello stream.
Yeah,
this
it's just
is
full
me
screen
doing
basically.
a run of the
It's a
Crux
full screen web
practice.
page.
I won't
It
be
has
talking
automatic
much because I'll be
transparency,
listening to the
so
instructions
it'll sit up in the
and,
top left of your
other
screen.
information
There's an
from
Ahu
the
Mahi ring and Crux Cut logo
from
up the top
restaurant
right
and
as
others,
well.
but
Okay, I think
I
that'll
hope you
work.
enjoy.
You'll send it to me on Discord.
Yep, I will have DM'd you the URL and key for today.
All right, sounds good.
I like your choice of beverage.
I was just watching Dashcam Australia as I was waiting, and just as I go to close, it's like, hang on, that looks familiar. It's a roundabout, literally like 50 meters from my house. Luckily, it wasn't me.
I was not paying attention, was I?
Yeah, did you miss the boat?
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry, Wink. There's a new shuttle.
Yep.
Yep, they come fairly.
But look over there, Wink. Don't.
What's over there?
What's up there? Yeah.
A distraction.
Keep looking at it.
The shuttle is preparing to depart.
Okay.
Please clear the hatch.
I'm still looking at it.
Wink!
Yeah, just keep looking at it.
Wink!
Oh, look.
No! Oh, no! Oh, damn.
Don't
I
listen
feel
to
like-
the siren song.
I feel like you were trying to get me to miss my shuttle.
No.
Ah, you wouldn't do that.
And
Yeah.
yes, I am actually here, by the way.
Hey, Al. I just opened. Oh, yeah.
Just eat a
I
couple
am-
tombus.
I am alive, and I'm not dropping frames like last time. Nope, never mind, there it goes.
There they go.
It's weird because it shouldn't be, because the only thing which is accessing my wireless is Twitch, so it shouldn't be dropping frames like this. It means that the internet is that bad that I cannot stream onto Twitch.
Approaching next station.
It's okay, save your net for racing.
Please prepare to disembark.
We won't hold it against you.
So arriving at the
Passengers, The
spaceport.
shuttle is preparing to
This
depart.
will also be pits.
Yeah, it's still bound to the wireless, so
I do what I hate doing.
The race.
Enjoying the view? Our recently redesigned Crusader Industries shuttlecraft features expanded.
it's impossible for me to stream at the moment. I've broken the internet that much.
Yes, you didn't get on. No. Make sure I hydrate first. And I will make sure I open up the map so I don't get lost. Because unlike most people, I get lost when I race.
Give me your finest burger.
Someone's in an alien ship like a banner. And
Yeah, you could hear the banner ship zip past. I'm just opening up the racetrack. Just so I don't get lost.
Do we have a drinks cart today?
There are no rescue crew on staff today,
Okay.
but Steel could be.
Steel
I'll buy,
Misters.
I'll buy some
Steel, do
drinks.
you have a C8R?
Oh, no, I don't.
So here we are. We're
I have a C8R. I'm actually taking that with me right now to Crusader.
We'll spawn you one if you like. Unless you have like another ship with a hospital bed. Any bed.
I'm flying over in the Carrack right now. I can just park that on top of Shimura and people can come stop by.
It'll be fine.
It'll be fine, yeah.
So, if you
Yeah.
haven't guessed, I am racing in the Aurora Classic. That means I will be flying any ship as long as it is an Aurora. So, I will grab out my Aurora
I see
LX.
Yoko did a cheeky tactical teleport.
My Aurora LX has been fitted with racing equipment, and I've stripped out bits and pieces that aren't needed.
Just work in PU.
Because it actually helps make the ship a little bit quicker.
He's a
resetting
tactical
spawn.
teleport.
Oh.
Scroll. There it is.
Vehicle selected. Stand by.
I don't think even that tactical teleport which you're thinking
Your
of
vehicle
works
has
in
been delivered to the
the current
following
version of
location.
PTU.
Please visit
Steel.
No, it doesn't, no. It's like, what?
Providence.
He's spy a gentleman jizz.
Hello.
Let's see if I can run into him.
No. Please don't.
Yes, and I'm also doing the very thing I always hate doing.
No, I need to land and reset my spawn.
I haven't really done this track for a while. Ran through round.
So yeah, this
3
is
laps
just a practice, and
earlier
just to
this week.
reiterate, like normally we'd be under racing comms where we'd be listening to Jazz do the briefing. We'd have asked you well in advance to set your respawn to Orison or somewhere nearby, and to have landed there so that you spawn really close by. Because today's a practice, like just take your time, get over here when you can, and comms are a little bit looser today as well.
Oh, I should double check that I actually still spawn here.
Always a
I've
good
been
move.
It should be, because I had been doing practice. But, should double check.
What's the current state of the grid, Echo? Have we formed anything yet?
Nope.
We got one at the grid, 3 races to line up.
Thank you.
How many races today?
4 races today.
Okey-doke.
1 open, 1 heavy, 1 Aurora, 1 AX3.
Just confirming where you wanted us to go. Was it Milford?
Races head to Milford Industrial.
Oops, I've got stick issues. I forgot about them because I'm not playing enough Star Citizen.
Hangar 7 steel.
Do you want me at the spaceport or with you?
I've got you a C8R.
Neat.
So
Am I
we
supplying
start off the
medical
race
services?
Lining up.
Yeah,
Milford
do both
platform.
spaceport and rescue today. Thank you.
Oh, I was going to get the C2 out and catch the cheerleader. But I'll be sad.
The only downside of the C8R is it's terrible for visibility for timer.
And you'll also notice that I have got the volumetric clouds off. And that's
Alright,
because it
Eco
makes it
Bit,
easier when you're flying the track to find out where you're going.
Go ahead,
can-
Alright, sorry about that. I was saying I just added the overlay. I don't know if did. It looks like it's working.
Yeah, it's working. Nice.
Eka, you will have pulled me back to the ASOP.
Sorry, my brain's in like several places.
Sorry, you're doing a lot.
Alright, I just pulled out a C8R, but if I crash, it might disappear in the future.
That's okay.
I'm just using Hangar 3.
Steel
Are
Hangar
you-
7.
You? What's Decoy doing with there?
I just pulled it out because I realized it'll be faster to check where my spawn is in the C8R than to run all the way to the hospital if it's still at Orison.
Oh, that's a good
That's
strat.
actually a really good idea. Hang on. I'm just gonna jump aboard yours, decoy.
Okay.
Actually, no, I know it's at Echo 1, never mind.
Yes, it is.
Steel will be your on-site medic for today, guys. So if you have any food or drink requirements, please let me know.
Thank you, Steel.
Burrito.
Yeah,
I'm
whammies,
digging,
and
I'm
there's
digging the
electric
boba
rails.
echo, but I feel like we need to get you just a panel with 1,000 buttons to go on your desk.
One of those battle mech game stations.
Was it Steel Legends or something that had the map
Yeah.
that came with the Mega controller? It was basically a massive controller that included a game.
Alright, Alice on station. On grid, I should say.
Copy that. Wink, are you the safety ship today?
Yep, and at Milford.
And you're flying a what?
Corsair.
The best kind of correct.
Leaning real hard on that technically, huh?
That technically is doing a lot of lifting.
But at some point I should save up for a wee woo ship.
Yeah, if you don't, I'll just buy one.
The Wambulance.
Yep.
While we're waiting on things, I will just go through the start procedure. It's always good practice to go through this. So, you are expected to line up on the starting grid, which is in the Milford Tunnel, as dictated by the starting grid that is set by EchoBit. So there is no official starting grid, but I think you will be put into your positions. At the starting grid, there will be the safety ship. This is currently piloted by Epic Wink in a Corsair today. He is the person you'll be following when you start the race on the formation lap. So, starting a formation lap, the race director, which is myself, will call for the formation lap to start. This is to begin the start of the race. The safety ship will start moving downwards towards down the Gentleman Mile at 150 meters a second. You're to follow the safety ship at 150 meters per second and maintain a 200 meters buffer to the ships in front of you. Slower ships that can't maintain 150 meters a second, like a Corsair, are to be placed at the back of the grid and are asked to proceed at their maximum possible speed. On approach to the Kaplan Tunnel, the safety ship will indicate they will be peeling off, and it is the responsibility of the leading ships to maintain the 150 meters per second. So technically you, as the leading ships, would turn into the safety ship. You maintain that pace for the rest of the field. At this point, the director is able to call green flag, so that's twice, but you're able to go on the first green flag, which indicates the start of the race. So any questions?
Sounds good.
Are you still preparing, Echo?
Yep, I'm going to set the races up on the grid.
Yep, so I might just go through a couple other rules. I think something that we've noticed recently is you don't need to indicate that you're going in for a pit stop. So if you are going in for a pit stop, you don't need to indicate that to the race director. The only times that you need to contact the race director are if there's been an incident involving your ship, whether that be yourself crashing, or your game crashing, or you colliding with another racer, or a racer colliding with you. Also, you'll need to contact the race director when you are rejoining from a crash. So you've had to respawn your ship and you want to rejoin the race. So that what that rejoin procedure usually is you'll be asked to fly to the start of the Kaplan Tunnel, and you'll be told when to rejoin and when to do that safely. When requesting for an incident to be reviewed, so a good example of this is, say you have a collision with another ship. This is the format that you need to do so. So you can do this via Discord voice chat, or you can do this via the in-game party chat. So you need to state your name, team name, and racing class, the name of the pilot of the offending ship if relevant, the nature of the incident, as in caused a crash or impeded a racing line, the location of the incident, so that can be, say, down one of the straights, or in one of the tunnels, or at the pit stops. As I said, this can be done via Discord voice chat. We'll also set up on race day an actual incident reporting chat channel, so you can do that via Discord. If you continue to complain about the issue within voice chat, we may mute you, and this may result in further penalties. Any questions?
So just going
No.
through some of the
Just because we have some new people here, I'll ask some obvious ones. What happens when my ship's destroyed?
When your ship is destroyed, you should respawn, assuming that you've picked Horizon as your respawn area. You are able to go back to the starport and request a new ship. So if you need to do that, you'll request a new ship. To rejoin the race safely, you must state your name and go, you are requesting to rejoin the race. So for example, it would be, in my example, Gentleman J requesting to rejoin the race. You'll then receive further comms from me, usually in the form of, please proceed to the start of Kaplan Tunnel and await further instructions. So what that means is you want to proceed to the start of the Kaplan Tunnel, not going through the racing line, so not going through like normal racing channel, so going either above or below the racing track, and wait at the start of the Kaplan Tunnel until you're given permission to actually proceed back into the race. This allows us to just reset timers and things.
Another question, do I have to report myself when I'm doing a pit stop?
You do not need to report yourself when doing a pit stop. You can report if a hangar is not functioning correctly, and this helps us.
So just waiting for this race to
Thanks,
start.
Jez. I'm going to set up the grid now if you don't mind.
So Epic
Go for it.
is the starting ship.
So on the westernmost strut of Milford platform, where Ekibit currently is, Professor Decoy and Euro Trucker will be sitting on strut number 1.
So I am going to be being moved.
On strut number 2, Algrid and Zolna, if you could make your way to Ekibit.
Roger that.
Two races to arrive at the grid, waiting on Euro Trucker and Quelsar. But guys, take your time, it's just the practice.
Roger.
So just got the instructions that I'm on strut number 2. So I'm just going here and
My
landing
boat
to
may
save
have
a
been
bit of fuel.
impounded because Orison's spaceport sucks.
Copy that.
I'm just trying to rehydrate right now because it's fairly low.
So Epic Wink is the start ship. He will fly basically towards Kaplan. At the start of a race, I will need to stay at speed 150 meters a second or thereabouts and try and maintain a 200 meters distance from him. At Kaplan, he will veer off. When the race director tells us it's green, then the race will go on and it'll be through Kaplan to Providence to Shimmer.
Jez, probably another 10 minutes on grid setup.
Copy that.
The spaceport also works as pits.
Yeah, I'm just getting a spawn set and
You generally
we'll
need
pull
to
the
make
Pisces.
a pit
No
stop,
worries.
at least in Aurora, every 3 laps.
That's a good opportunity to ask if you've got any rule clarifications.
And that's about it.
Yeah, let's go over the penalties. Oh, sorry, someone had an actual question. Please go ahead.
Well, I was gonna ask: is there any altitude limits, like from Shimura to Milford?
If you proceed above a certain altitude, which we can see from the race direction, where we deem you that you have left the track, we will notify you as such.
Okay.
So there's no specific racing altitudes, but like we can see, like I can see from the race direction point of view, whether you're too far above or too far below the track, because those channels are used for getting other races, from those positions back to say the pits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just curious if there was any specific guidelines of like, because like some areas like it can be advantageous to gain a little bit of altitude, get slightly thinner.
That's it, yeah, like, generally you'll be following the white line on the track map, which is the track limits, but we can't see you heading further up or below the atmosphere of like 5 kilometers. If you start doing that, we will impose penalties of off track. Would that be correct, Jez?
Correct. Yeah. So relatively common sense, and I think those sort of procedures to gain a little bit of speed aren't really high enough, but we would let you know if they were going above what we deem is to be a track limit.
Okay.
So there's no 700-meter track limit above the surface of the planet?
No. It's a problem with 3D space.
And the fact there's no surface of the planet.
Also a problem.
Yeah, I was playing with a couple of climb and altitude markers when in practice, and I just wanted to know if there's like, okay, if what I was practicing potentially would be out of bounds.
Well,
and then 2 for the practice to say, hey, does it actually make a difference, or am I just fooling myself?
So maybe a good. So if you can see my stream right now from my perspective, I'm just looking above from. That's Kaplan there. There's Callie. Go and give me a buzz. I can see all those other people in line. So right now, I would probably say, like, if Callie was racing at that line through to Milford, like on the other side, it's probably a little high, but not quite to the point where I'd deem it as off track.
Okay.
A lot of it is judgment based. We can't sort of judge every racer at that point. Oh wait, did it?
Yeah, I know you can't see the altitude on my HUD, but it just more is like, okay, I was just asking, so it's like, okay, is a specific number that I should try to make sure I don't get too close to, but
there is no specific number right now set. Yep, just common sense.
I mean, common sense for racers is not necessarily common sense because it's whatever is fastest is king.
Yep. But if we deem that as not common sense, we'll let you know. Because, like, say, okay, so maybe a good example would be, say, diving from, 5K up is actually a lot faster. That, I wouldn't deem that as acceptable.
Actually, this leads me into another good question for you, race director. Can I refuel, even
No.
though I haven't crossed Kaplan's line or entered Providence? Can I choose to refuel in the middle of the track, say out at Milford?
If you need to refuel, say you're at Milford, you need to request as such. So if you do so, let's say you're at Milford and you need to proceed back to the pit straight away, what you'll need to do is go, race director, are requesting to return to the pits via track, or not via the track. We will allow that request and you'll be directed to proceed either under or over the track. So you're not impeding any of the racing lines. And you would be allowed to return to the pits. Now, when you exit the pits, you'll actually still have to complete your lap by going through all the tunnels that you had previously done before. So, for example, if you were at Milford, you'd still need to go back through the pit exit into Providence and need to complete the remaining part of your lap through all the tunnels as normally expected. It's a bit of a time loss, but still probably better than losing your ship to no fuel.
Excellent. And maybe another. Oh yes.
Did you also just get murdered by running through security, Kelsar?
Yeah, I just got incapacitated. That was weird.
I got straight killed. I didn't even get incapped.
What the hell?
Yeah, I'm sitting here incapacitated.
We were running through security. We came out of the elevator at the same time. It looked like we both got clotheslined on my screen, like flat on our backs. And
now it looks like it's putting me back to the med bay. My screen just went black.
Fully dead. In an instant. So there may be some invisible shenanigans happening in in the spaceport. Keep an eye out for that.
2 minutes ago and nothing happened. Yeah, maybe just be a bit careful.
Yeah, be careful around each other. Race Director, I have another question.
Sure.
Are there any changes to how yellow flag is done?
Not yet confirmed. The likely change is that rather than having to follow the safety ship, the entire field will be requested to move down to 150 meters a second. We're just looking at ways to try and enforce that.
Oh, VSC.
Basically, yeah, VSC. So the most likely,
instead of a time, it's speed.
yep. So the most likely enforcement measure is potentially using tunnel officials to set that 150 meters a second, and that way we can check speeds of other races. To be confirmed. I'm just trying to make it easier so the race can get underway a lot quicker again.
I like that. Yep, so be prepared for some technical regulation changes. You can track that in Racing Guide channel. Whenever that blips up with a new message, we'll put the notes and detailed changes for the latest technical regulation update there.